welcome to the Deep Dive. This conversation is really for you, the person who needs to learn fast. Not just about a topic, but from the people who are actually defining it.
That's right. And today, our source materials give us this incredible blueprint for something we're calling relationship architecture.
I like that. It's not just, networking.
Not at all. This is about how you can systematically turn your admiration for an industry hero into, well, a real mentorship or even a friendship.
So our mission today, it's really a two-parter.
Right. First, there's that initial outreach.
That terrifying moment where you just put yourself out there, get your foot in the door.
Yeah, and then part two is what happens after that, the follow-up. How you make sure that connection doesn't just, fizzle out after one coffee.
We're moving way beyond those transactional emails into something built on real research, real curiosity.
And honestly, a surprisingly high level of effort. It's a path not many people are willing to walk.
Which is why the ones who do it win.
Exactly.
Okay, let's anchor all of this with a story that it perfectly captures this idea. Our dive today starts with a massive financial gamble.
Oh, this is a great one.
It's the story of a young co-founder who basically bet his entire very shaky financial stability on a single summer course.
And this is Kevin Earle Kelley. He's the co-founder of a strategy design firm called Shook Kelley.
So picture this. Kevin is 28. He is drowning in student debt. His new firm isn't making any money. And he has a young child at home.
The definition of stretched thin.
Totally. And then he gets this brochure for a postgraduate design course at Harvard, and he just knows he has to go.
Yeah.
So he cuts a check that he is absolutely praying won't bounce.
And this wasn't just, a random course. The reason he was so desperate to go was the instructor. It was his absolute idol.
The legendary architect Cohen.
Yeah, whose firm, KPF, has designed some of the most famous skylines in the world. Kevin just had this belief that if he wanted to make a real impact, he couldn't just read about these people. He had to be near them.
Even if it meant risking bankruptcy.
Right. He followed his curiosity.
And the pushback he got was, it was intense. His family, his co-founder, they all told him this is not the time.
You're already underwater. Harvard can wait.
Exactly. And you can just feel that internal doubt when he actually arrives. He describes himself as the guy in bootcut jeans and a red flannel shirt.
Walking into a room full of people in khakis and tweed jackets.
He was completely convinced he'd just thrown away his future to spend a week feeling like a total imposter.
But this is the thing about just showing up, isn't it? Sometimes that's half the battle. So on the second day of class, Cohen is going through student projects, and he just stops. He stops on Kevin's work, and instead of just giving a quick critique, he asks Kevin to come up and discuss his process, his ideas, the human behavior stuff behind his design for a full hour.
An entire hour, uninterrupted, from his idol.
An hour of undivided attention. After that, Cohen pulls him aside, invites him to lunch, and then just drops this bombshell question on him.
What do you think about teaching this course next year with me?
Can you imagine? Kevin, who's half the age of most of the students and has zero teaching experience, ends up teaching alongside Cohen for 11 years.
11 years. It completely changed his career. He got a mentor for life and instant access to this incredible network.
All because he was audacious enough to show up. Not because he was the smartest guy in the room, but because he was the most curious.
But here's the kicker. That Harvard moment, it wasn't just a lucky break. It was actually the result of this foundational practice he'd been doing for years.
That's the real insight here. His success was manufactured. It wasn't luck. For 30 years, starting way back in high school.
High school?
Yeah. He committed to writing handwritten letters every week to someone he admired, an architect, a CEO, an academic, and he still does it.
That sounds like an insane amount of work for, what, a tiny return?
Mm-hmm.
He said his early success rate for getting a reply was barely 5%.
5%. So 95% of the time he got silence.
So why keep going? That's the question, right?
Yeah.
Why do it if you're being ignored 19 out of 20 times? It sounds punishing.
It does. But the source material breaks down these 4 non-reply benefits that made it worthwhile no matter what. And this, I think, is the real secret sauce.
Okay.
First, just writing the letters sharpened his own thinking. It forced him to get his ideas clear enough to impress someone at the top of their game.
So it helped him form his own theories about the market.
Exactly. Second, it made him dig deeper into their work. He had to ask original questions, not things you could just Google.
Okay, that makes sense. And third,
even with no reply, that physical handwritten letter got his name on their desk. It's a rare thing these days. You can't just delete it like an email. It's memorable.
And fourth, I'm guessing, is that 5%?
That 5% made all the difference. Those relationships are what sustained his firm for 3 decades without a marketing department. It's this powerful argument that, consistency creates its own luck.
It sounds less like luck and more like a long-term investment. The effort pays off in just clarifying your own thoughts, even if you never hear back. Okay, so let's get tactical. How do you actually do this? Let's get into the cheat sheet.
Okay, tip 1, start small, start smart. Everyone's instinct is to go for the huge household names, right? Oprah, Bill Gates.
Sure.
But the odds are just astronomical.
Yeah.
Instead, you start where the connection is a little warmer. Friends of friends, or people who are just, one step ahead of you. Kevin spent a decade building that foundation before the big Cohen opportunity came along.
And there's a really important warning that comes with this. You can't view these initial contacts as just stepping stones to someone more important.
Oh, for sure. That transactional mindset kills the whole thing. You're looking for peers to grow with, not a ladder to climb.
Right. Okay, what's next?
Tip 2, know your North Star. Your message has to have one single clear agenda.
So not a list of 5 questions and 3 requests for help.
Exactly. It's either appreciation or one specific question or one call to action. Anything more just feels overwhelming and you'll get ignored. You have to be able to answer, why am I contacting this person right now?
Okay, tip 3 is where it gets really interesting for me. It's this idea of the rule of 7.
It's an old marketing idea, basically. Someone needs to see your name about 7 times before they'll take action.
But wait, 7 times? Isn't that just spam? How do you do that without being incredibly annoying?
Right, that's the key. You don't send 7 direct emails. You use indirect methods first.
Like what?
You share their work on social media and tag them. You write a blog post about how one of their ideas helped you on a project. You're sort of building this ambient awareness of your name and your respect for them before you ever hit send on that first email.
You're priming the pump. I like that.
Exactly. Then tip 4 is the subject line. Quick question. Doesn't really work anymore.
It feels like a sales pitch.
It does. The sources say that something simple like thank you or a note of appreciation is super effective. Because surprisingly, most high-level inboxes are not full of gratitude. It stands out.
And that leads right into tip 5, which is showing your impact. There's almost a formula for it, isn't there?
There is. It's thanks to you doing X, I was able to achieve Y. You have to be specific, not just I love your work, but that one idea you shared about Z completely changed how I approach my project, and we saw a 20% improvement.
People want to see that their advice actually lands, that someone took action.
It's a huge emotional trigger. And while you're writing it, humanize it a little. Use a slightly quirky word or mention a parent, just a flash of personality.
And I love this reverse psychology tactic they mentioned, adding no need to reply.
It's brilliant. It often gets you a reply because you've removed all the pressure.
That is fantastic. Okay, so that's the outreach. But let's talk about the game changers, the things that take you from just an admirer to, a collaborator.
Okay, tip 6. Don't underestimate your ability to help, even someone super successful. Busy people are busy for a reason, and they often need help in areas you might be good at. Your job is to learn to read the code in their online clues.
Reading the code, what does that actually look like?
So if someone says, I'm launching a new product, the code is, I could use help spreading the word.
Oh.
Or I'm starting a podcast is code for, does anyone know anything about editing or booking guests? The value you offer might be simple for you, but it saves them time, which is their most valuable asset.
There's a great example of this in the source material. The author offered to clean up the English website copy for some Spanish entrepreneurs for free.
Right, he wasn't a professional editor, but he was a native speaker.
And that simple act led to a client referral, which eventually led to him being offered ownership in a startup, all from offering a little bit of free, non-transactional value up front.
It pays off exponentially. Which brings us to tip 7, the power of quirks and details. Charles Eames said it best. The details aren't the details are the thing.
Meaning you have to look for the things other people miss.
Exactly. Look for the person, not just the professional title.
Like that story about the writer he wanted to meet. Instead of asking for writing advice, which this guy must get 1,000 times a day,
he focused on a tiny detail he'd noticed. The writer loved this very specific Spanish bread that reminded him of English muffins.
So instead of asking for something, he offered something.
Right. He just offered to drop off some of that bread the next time he was in town. That one thoughtful detail got him the meeting and started a friendship. It's about finding the personal key, not the professional one.
And just a quick note on this. You can break the rules. While keep it short is good advice, sometimes being bold and honest is better.
You're talking about Brian Penny.
Yeah, a recovering heroin addict working as a food delivery driver. He sent this long 4-paragraph message to 100 CEOs.
And got an 81% response rate.
An incredible number.
Yeah.
Because he was so honest, his goal was so clear, it just proves that authenticity can cut through anything.
It really can.
So, okay, you've sent the letter, you've gotten the meeting, but that's only half the battle, right? The really hard part starts now. The maintenance.
Forging the actual friendship.
Yeah.
And the need for this it's startlingly real. The sources call it a loneliness epidemic.
Yeah, that data was shocking.
I mean, think about it. In 1985, the average person had 3 people they could discuss important stuff with. By 2004, the most common answer was 0.
0. That's heartbreaking.
It is. Loneliness has more than doubled. So people, even really successful people, are hungry for genuine connection.
Which brings us to my childhood friend, Anthony. He works in high finance, manages over $1 billion.
Right.
And he was hired not for his financial skills, but for his ability to maintain friendships. His entire job is just building and deepening long-term relationships.
So his system is basically the ultimate follow-up cheat sheet, and the core of it is just intentionality. Yeah. And meticulous note-taking.
He keeps a notebook on like 150 to 200 clients because he says he has a terrible memory.
And he writes down the specifics. The name of a kid, their college, a spouse's surgery, a hobby they mentioned once.
You know, it makes me feel guilty for just sending a generic happy birthday text. The things that matter actually take so little effort. But does it ever feel, I don't know, transactional?
That's a great question, but it's all about the intention. He's not using the notes to sell them something. He's using them to be a thoughtful human. He's famous for sending, like, specialized soup to clients and friends when they're sick just because his notes reminded him.
It's the small, non-work-related gestures that really build the bond.
Exactly. So the takeaway for you is to build a similar system. Take specific notes on your key people and use technology for quick check-ins. A text before a big interview. They'd be lucky to have you. A phone call on their birthday, not just a Facebook post.
But you can't do this for everyone. You have to focus on a smaller group.
For sure, maybe a dozen, 2 dozen people max. And there's a study that backs this up. It says frequency trumps duration. Lasting friendships are maintained by making contact, even just a tiny bit, once every 15 days.
Every 2 weeks. And it doesn't have to be a huge thing.
Not at all. It can be a simple text. It's just about relentless, simple consistency.
I love Gretchen Rubin's idea for this, the boring email chain. Just a weekly email with mundane life updates.
It sounds counterintuitive, but it's brilliant. It keeps the conversation warm, so when you do talk after a few months, you skip that awkward, so what's new, dance. You can just dive right in.
You're already caught up on the small stuff.
Right. And maybe the most powerful follow-up tactic of all is this. Give away your best ideas for free. If you have an idea that could help someone else, just give it to them.
Don't hold it back thinking they'll get more out of it than you.
Never. It forces you to think beyond yourself. The author gave his friend Christopher Connors the idea to focus his whole career on emotional intelligence for leaders. Connors said it was a pivotal moment for him.
That's a perfect example. Okay, let's talk about reputation. We all know what a bad name dropper looks like. But there's a good kind, too.
Yes. Bragging about your friends to other people.
This connects to that psychological idea, right? Spontaneous trait inference.
STI, yeah. It's fascinating. The way you talk about other people shapes how listeners see you. So if you're constantly talking about how competent and brilliant your friends are, people start to associate those traits with you. It's like social osmosis. You build a reputation as a connector and a positive person without ever talking about yourself.
Exactly. And the last piece of the puzzle is just scheduling. You have to prioritize this. Both Anthony and another friend mentioned, Justin Caffrey, they say you have to automate it.
Put your non-negotiable friend and family time on the calendar first, before work.
Before work stuff, yeah. You schedule relationships into existence, set up recurring meetups, a weekly call, a monthly lunch, a yearly trip. If it's on the calendar, it gets done.
And it all comes back to what Kevin Kelley said. The best things in life demand effortfulness.
Making the effort to actually call someone or see them face to face. That will always build a tighter bond than just a digital like. So we've gone through the whole strategy, from Kevin's crazy Harvard gamble to Anthony's super intentional notes to the psychology of STI. And the core lesson for you, the learner, seems to be that curiosity and genuine effort are so much more attractive than trying to be an expert.
Absolutely. And that Benjamin Sledge quote really sums it all up. One good conversation can change our stars. One good friend can alter our fortune. One good mentor can give clarity to our direction.
Kevin Kelley says that when someone reaches out to him now, even if he doesn't have time to reply, he feels respect because he knows how hard it is to put yourself out there like that.
He's been there.
He has. So we'll leave you with this final question. If you really commit to doing this, to focusing on who you want to learn from instead of just what you want to achieve, which interesting person are you going to meet?